What's going on, Raider Nation? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to the Raider Critique. This is your post-game review for the Chiefs and your pre-game for the Atlanta Falcons. What's going on, Raider Nation? Yeah, this definitely happened. But it's really nothing to be absolutely, completely mad about. Because it's not like we were blasted off the face of the planet like it has been the last couple years that we faced this team. We've beaten them once. We squeaked by them once. They squeaked by us the second time. Dropping our record to 6-4 and improving their record to I believe 9-1, possibly even 10-1. But it's no reason to hang our heads low, Raider Nation. We have done, this team has done an excellent job this year, especially our offense. And I can't wait to go over the stats because the offense did look good, and on paper it looked great, man. Derek Carr is definitely proving the haters wrong. Doing everything he possibly can to shut up the naysayers. And, hey, it goes to show in the stats, man. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I know I already did that at the beginning of the video, but I hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday. And, yeah, man, let's jump into this game. I know everybody's already on the Falcons. We're going to get to that, but we're going to go over the stats for this. Well, we're going to go over our stats because, you know, I might go over Kansas City stats a little bit, but I don't have a screenshot of that for you guys, but I do have the screenshots and the stuff saved for our beloved Raiders, man. Derek Carr, 23 of 31, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception at the end of the game because this game was a shootout. If you didn't watch it, then go back to NFL and go back to NFL replay and go rewatch this game. This game was absolutely awesome to watch. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Booker, 5 carries for 16 yards. Henry Ruggs had 1 carry for 12 yards, which was a beautiful run, by the way. Derek Carr, 3 for 6. Receiving, Nelson Aguilar on 9 targets, had 6 receptions, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Darren Waller, 7 receptions on 7 targets, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Derek Carr was heaving the ball down the field, and our receivers were catching. I mean, Nelson Aguilar did have 3 drops, reaped its ugly face, but overall, I still would give the guy a B grade, you know. Hunter Renfrow had 2 receptions for 37 yards. Zay Jones, 1 for 18 on 1 target. Derek Carrier, which we have not said his name since last season, had a reception. 1 reception for 14 yards. Then you had, let's see, where was I at? Alec Ingold on 3 targets. He had 2 key drops that I noticed. I'm not going to harp too much about it, but man, you got to bring those in when they hit you in the hands. We were driving down the field. It didn't really hurt, but it really didn't help either. Josh Jacobs 1 for 9. Henry Ruggs 1 for 5. Devontae Booker 1 for 3. Jason Witten 1 for 1 and 1 touchdown. When that play happened, I literally thought that we had won the game. And I know a lot of YouTubers have been saying this, and a lot of us fans have been saying this. We left too much time on the clock. And that's why we move on to the next section, which is defense. Trayvon Mullen was the only one to have an interception. He has picked off Mahomes. Well, the Raiders, have picked off Mahomes his only 2 times that he's thrown an interception this year. Trayvon Mullen, and then, of course, Jeff Heath. Nicholas Morrow had a pass deflection along with Isaiah Johnson and Damon Arnett, who also got a pass interference call called against him that, last time I checked, I don't know if that was really pass interference. I mean, even looking at the footage, the replays over and over and over again, I don't see how Damon Arnett could have been faulted for that, but that's okay. You know, we're used to that, Raider Nation. We're used to being screwed by the referees, but we're not even going to get into that this video. Jonathan Abram led our team in tackles this game, 7 tackles, 2 assists. A lot of people say that he was the reason why we lost this game, that he had the blown coverage in the secondary. Nick Kwiatkowski, 6 tackles, 3 assists. Nicholas Morrow, 6 tackles, 2 assists. Nevin Lawson, 5 tackles, 1 assist. Trayvon Mullen, also 5 tackles, 1 assist. Damon Arnett had 4 tackles. Carl Nassib had 3 tackles. Jeff Heath had 2 tackles, 1 assist. Eric Harris, 2 tackles. Kendall Vickers, 2 tackles. Chris Smith, 1 tackle. David Irving, 1 tackle, 1 assist, which, by the way, David Irving, Kendall Vickers, and Chris Smith have also been sent back to the practice squad for this next coming week. Arden Key, 1 tackle, 1 assist, and he had 1 tackle for a loss. And then we round off with Max Crosby with 1 tackle for a loss on 1 tackle with 1 assist. Isaiah Johnson, 1 tackle. Derek Carrier and Javen White had goose eggs. We go to special teams. Daniel Carlson, 1 for 1 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. The guy has been absolutely golden all year long. I actually am happy to have a dude like Daniel Carlson on this football team. He reminds me of Janikowski with maybe not as much leg, but the dude is on fire and he is very deadly accurate, and I dig that. AJ Cole had 2 punts. One of those was inside the 20, 42 on the long. Hunter Renfro had 2 punt returns for a 5.5 average and an 8 yards for his long return. So, I mean, that's where we're at, Raider Nation. Offensively, we looked great. Defensively, it looked like that we were at a place. I mean, what can we really do against a team like that? Especially when I don't know on what we've got to do, on what defense we're going to see from week to week. That's my only gripe and complaint, is what defense are we going to see from week to week? We've got a lot of defensive woes. And I don't know if Paul Gunther can turn this defense around. I know this defense can be turned around because of the players on this defense. It's not like we got a bunch of scrubs. There's a lot of good players on this team. You know, we also, I mean, to their defense, 10 of the 11 people, or 10 of our defense, 10 people of our defense were underneath COVID protocol all week last week. They didn't get to practice. They got to do everything virtually, you know. But it showed that even doing it virtually, that this team could be prepared for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who are absolutely high-powered on their offense, and they like to put up a lot of points. Well, it looks like we can keep up with them, especially from that final score. But we've got to be able to make those final stops. that one final drive, when I believe they had a minute 50 to drive down the field. And yes, it was a lot of time. A minute 50 is a lot of time. Especially in the NFL, especially with a high-powered offense like that. We should have been able to come up with a stop. Instead, we gave up massive amounts of just chunk yards done by the running game from the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, of course, the little short dink-and-dunk passes they were doing, and then when we weren't expecting it, throwing the ball deep down the middle. Now, I don't know on whether that was completely Jonathan Abrams' fault, or whether it was unless it was defensive play calling. I mean, a lot of us out there have different opinions. But there is one thing that we're all talking about right now, that we all agree on. This defense needs help. This defense needs help. We have no idea what defense is going to show up from 1 minute to the next, from one game to the next. Our offense is putting up massive amounts of points. Now, I have said in the past that this is how we're going to have to win games, because that's what John Gruden is all about anyway. Although I think John Gruden wouldn't mind having a decent defense, or at least decent defensive play calling, to where he can put up his offense can put up 32 points that this mastermind has designed, to where he doesn't have to try to put up 40 or 50 points just to win games, because our defense can't stop a nosebleed. We've got to get it figured out on the defensive side of the ball. We really do. We got 8 up in the run game last game, and it was all because this dude wasn't there. Now, all the haters that were out there talking about, oh, CLELIN FERRELL, he's not the edge rusher that we need. He's not attacking the quarterback the way he's supposed to, not the way that us in Raider Nation want him to. Now you see his role. Because without him, they might not have put 3 touchdowns on the ground against us. If we would have had him in the lineup, if he would have been there, and this blasted COVID, man, this blasted epidemic, we needed this guy out there. And I'm just glad that he's doing better and he's going to be able to come back, because this is our run stopping, and even though he does not have a lot of sacks, it's not showing in the stat column. The dude puts on massive amounts of quarterback pressures, making the quarterback feel uncomfortable, driving him out of the pocket, making him want to basically react quickly and not thinking about it correctly. He also draws quite a few double teams, and he's also very well known to stuff the run in the backfield. We needed this guy out there, and I'm hoping that this guy right here, that everybody else sees, who was hating on when we picked him up. Sure, it would have been great to get Josh Allen, but we needed somebody for the outside to cover up when we let Khalil Mack go. This was the best guy that Mike Mayock and John Gruden thought that they needed. And sure enough, he has done fit himself into the scheme of this Raiders defense, and he's an absolute beast at run stopping. That's what this guy is there for. That's what we need him there for. So in order to compliment him, the Raiders went off and signed, which I'm sure every single one of you know, they went and signed Vic Beasley and good old Tack McKinley from the Falcons. Now, I don't think they're going to be playing right now. I definitely don't think they're going to be up in this upcoming week. They're probably going to go to the practice squad. And also, you know, I've heard that I believe it was Tack McKinley who was failing physicals, so we don't even know if he's going to pass a physical for this football team yet. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't have any stats for these two. Of course, we know about Vic Beasley in his years. I believe he started off with the Panthers. He was a beast as a Panther, and then of course he played with the Falcons, and he also played with the Titans this last season. As a matter of fact, I think he was with the Titans back at training camp at the beginning of this season. So only the future knows, and you find out physically where these guys are, on whether these guys are going to be able to come in and contribute this year within a few weeks or so. But you can definitely tell that the Raiders are hurting defensively when we're going off and we're signing people who play on that side of the ball, because we do need to generate some type of pass rush. We've got to stop the run, and by God, we've got to stop blowing coverages. I mean, really, if I have to critique anything, it's this defense, because the offense is on fire. It's exactly what we needed from the offense. This is exactly what everybody was talking about. This is old school Raider football. Run the ball down their throat, air the ball out when we're passing, and just have them fear every aspect. Only problem is that our defense isn't feared. Our defense gets trampled on. Now, I know that this is really, I mean, I've got a report on this, even though we haven't had any offensive line issues. Our offensive line plays great. No matter who we got in there, Tom Cable has got these guys ready to block, dude. But it is sad to see that Richie Incognito was gone for the year. He's going to go ahead and get, they said, and you can go back to the Gruden pressers and everything like that. They've done everything they possibly can. And he's done everything he possibly can to try to get back on the field this year, and it's just not going to happen. He's got to get foot surgery. Now, on another note, and, speedy recovery to you, Richie Incognito. I hope that we get to see you back next season. Only time will tell on that as well. I do believe that this is his contract year. We signed him on a 2-year deal last year. But on that note, when it comes to the offensive line, Trent Brown was actually at practice today. Now, reports still say that he's going to be out for at least 2 more weeks. We shall see, but they did say that he has, he's recovering, and he was on the practice field as of yesterday, I believe. Because, of course, nobody's practicing on Thanksgiving, but he was on the practice field yesterday. So I'm just glad that all these guys are starting to recover. And, we're supposed to get Corey Littleton back and LaMarcus Joyner as well. So, going into this game with these Falcons, they're also riddled with injuries as well, and they're also, record-wise, are not a very good football team. They just fired their head coach as of 2 games ago, and that they really do look like a dumpster fire going on down in Atlanta. Now, that doesn't mean that this team can be taken lightly. We lost to the Chiefs, and we did. We lost to the Chiefs, dropping our record to 6-4. And we've got a bunch of trap games that are lined up for us. This Falcons game being one of them with a 3-7 team, and then of course we've got next week with the Jets. So, before we really hop on over into the actual game of what I'm expecting to see, let's hop over and look at the injury report. Now, of course, this is Thanksgiving, so this is not all the way up. The final injury report, I believe, comes out on Friday. But we're gonna transition over to that. Okay, here is our injury report. We got Eric Harris with a calf. He was limited on Wednesday, and he did not participate on Thursday. Oh, so I guess they did practice today. My bad. I figured everybody got Thanksgiving off unless, they wanted that holiday paid. Maurice Hurst, ankle injury. He was in full participation both days. Alec Ingold is limited. Colton Miller is in full. Carl Nassib is in full. Amik Robertson did not participate due to an illness. Kendall Vickers is full. I thought we sent him back to the practice squad. I guess not. Sam Young is a knee. He was limited. Jalen Richard is limited with a chest injury. Nelson Aguilar is in full participation with a knee injury. Damon Arnett did not participate, but he was full on Thursday, and that was due to an illness. And then Josh Jacobs, a hip. He wasn't listed on Wednesday, and he was limited on Thursday. Now, this is the elephant in the room right here, man. This is the Falcons injury report. You got tight end Luke Stalker, who was in full participation on a foot injury. Julio Jones. Yes, that's it. That's right, buddy. Julio Jones. Julio Jones is limited. He'll probably play, but he's limited. That's a good sign for us. Calvin Ridley, their other wide receiver, was limited. Mikael Walker, hamstring, was also limited. Edmund Robinson was a hamstring. He was limited. Foye Olukon, he's a really good linebacker, man, and he was limited with a knee injury. Dante Fowler, hamstring, he was limited. James Carpenter, groin, he was limited. Grady Jarrett is a knee and a groin, he's limited. And then the other big name right here, man, now he might not be the same running back that he used to be, but Todd Gurley did not participate due to a knee injury. And that actually does bode well for us, especially with the way that we gave up the run last week, giving up those 3 touchdowns. They also have another running back named Quadri Allison, and he was out, did not participate due to an illness. And then tight end Hayden Hurst. So that's what I got for you guys right there on that. Transition back over here. So by looking at their injuries, we definitely know that this is a winnable game. And with the with us beating the Kansas City Chiefs, or losing to the Kansas City Chiefs, rather, my fault, because we should have beat them, and because we didn't beat them, that means that the rest of these games that we're playing this year are extremely important. Okay, we've done fallen to a 6-4 record. We can't really afford to lose no more than 2. We really can't. We really have to go into this with like a 10-6 record to where it solidifies ourselves into the playoffs. Now, with the Falcons being hurt so much, and also with all their issues that they're having with the coaching staff, and how they had to move up an interim coach, and Julio Jones being hurt, Todd Gurley being hurt, Matt Ryan not playing to his normal caliber. They gave up 8 sacks. That offensive line gave up 8 sacks last week on Matt Ryan. We need to get to the quarterback, because obviously if he doesn't have no more than a second to throw the ball, then we can win the game. And we got to have the defense step up to do this. And we're going to have all of our key players back on defense. Hopefully Gunther puts them in the right positions to where they can play to the best of their abilities, to where it gives us the option to have a blowout of a game against this team. Because they are in no shape, but don't count this team out, because you remember what this team played like. What our team played like back a couple seasons ago when Hugh Jackson got fired and they moved up, I can't remember what his name was. I think it was Spagnuolo. So, I mean, and our team played hard for that guy, man, and they squeaked out a couple more wins that season right after Hugh got fired. So, I mean, we can't take this team lightly. We can't. We can't take this team lightly, because they might have something to prove. These players probably feel on the Atlanta Falcons that it's their fault that their coach got fired, which was Dan Quinn. So, you know, they're going to be playing like they got something to prove also. And we do see that they can win games. They do have 3 in that column. So, with that being said, Raider Nation, I still think we take this game as long as we play the way we're supposed to play. And yep, that's right, man. Raider Gun from the Raider Critique has actually got a prediction on this game. It's not like we're playing the Chiefs. I had no idea what the score was going to be like playing the Chiefs, although it might not have been the same outcome that I wanted, I was pleased with the way the team played and how they hung close to the defending Super Bowl champions. But as for this game, and just like we've all been, well, what I've been saying is that we have to treat every game that we play as must-wins. And we need to come out on top of this team 24-20. And the reason why I give it such a low score and a very close score is because I don't believe that our defense can hold them to underneath 20 points. I really don't. But I do believe that our beloved Raiders can put up 24 plus points. Guaranteed. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Thanksgiving episode of the Raider Critique, man. And I do appreciate everybody for stopping by and checking out checking out my videos and checking out the content. I do it all for you guys, man. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share these videos on social media, man. Let's get a bigger following in here. But man, it's been a wonderful season so far. I'm hoping that in any type, with any kind of luck, with there being an extra playoff spot, for each conference, that we're going to squeak into this. But we got to win these games. We've got to win these games that we're supposed to win. And, regardless on what anybody says, we need to win our division games too. We've got one more against Denver and one more against the Chargers. And we've got to win those, and we need to solidify ourselves into the playoffs to where we can see those Chiefs again. But we can't be looking past all these other teams we've got to play. We've got to play Indianapolis, Phillip Rivers this year. There's a few games in there that are questionable for this team, but we can win as long as the defense and offense and the special teams plays like a well-oiled machine. And I'm pretty confident that we can do it. So, until next time, Raider Nation, man, everybody knows what it is. It's Raider Nation for life. Let's go get these Falcons.